Let's start with what we've been seeing. The massive love and respect shown by millions of people for the woman who was their Queen for 70 years. The love of ordinary people and not the kinds of radicals who tend to dominate headlines.
What is it you're doing down here today?
It's for the Queen. We did it for Prince Philip as well when he passed.
It's a lot to take in. It's a big moment.
She's the only constant we've all had in our lives. I just want to show me respect.
We're also seeing something else that threatens the Republicans. We're also seeing that kind of respect and even some of that love for the Queen being transferred to the Queen's oldest son, the new King Charles III. It started, of course, with the ceremonial forms of respect and then spread to the crowds.
God save the King.
God save the King.
May King Charles III have long and happy years to reign over us.
God save the King!
Now, this cheering for Charles is already becoming a habit and something that's giving a lot of people a sense of stability when so much around us seems to be crumbling, right? And I think that is why many Republicans just can't keep a dignified silence, can't shut up and just let people mourn. Because this grief of the people, that's threatening them. The sheer size of the crowds who are thanking the Queen, that threatens them. Even the beauty of the traditions that we're seeing, the ceremonials that we're now seeing, and this connection to deep history, that threatens them. And so does the great dignity and the sense of duty of royals like the Queen's daughter, Anne. Even in her grief, Anne remembers that her beloved mother was also her Queen and curtsies before her coffin. And all that threatens the Republicans because they can't offer that dignity and that beauty and that stability and that tradition of quiet service, or that civility. And now to see King Charles taking up exactly where his mother left off, too much, can't stand. This wasn't even in their script. This was actually supposed to be the moment when they thought, well, people are going to say enough with the monarch, the Queen is dead, and who wants Charles? I mean, here's Malcolm Turnbull, former head of the Australian Republican movement, just last year.
We wouldn't come back to the issue until after the end of the Queen's reign. So I think after the end of the Queen's reign, that is the time for us to say, OK, we've passed that watershed. Do we really want to have whoever happens to be the head of state of the King or Queen of the UK automatically our head of state?
In fact, Peter Fitzsimons, the Republican movement's new head, he even said on the day the Queen died, he couldn't even wait. He expected more members and donations. What a vulture. He said, with the greatest respect to Charles III, he does not enjoy the same deep wellspring of affection and loyalty that Her Majesty did. Let the donations roll in. Well, the Albanese government also counted on that as well. It appointed an assistant minister for the Republic to pounce for this very moment when the Queen died. And the Greens have got no class at all. They got to work just hours after the news of the Queen's death. Greens leader Adam Bands said, now we need to become a republic. His deputy, Mehreen Faruqi, who had actually left Pakistan to enjoy a better life here in Australia under this Queen, said, I cannot mourn the leader of a racist empire built on stolen lives, land and wealth of colonised peoples. We need a treaty with Aborigines. We need reparations. We need a republic. And it's no wonder these people are in such a hurry, because what if we actually did get to love and respect this new king? And with the very popular William and Kate set to take over after him, well, forget the republic then, right? And here is something that has also surprised me. I feared that Charles could be the weak link. He's supposed to be politically neutral, a figure of unity, but as a prince, there he was, crusading even for wacky things like alternative medicines and telling us to panic about global warming, lobbying governments, including our own Prime Minister back then. But you know what? The minute he became king, it's like that activist Prince Charles, he's gone. And this new king, King Charles, he's a conservative. His first speech as king made that clear. He's not a crusader for causes anymore.
It will no longer be possible for me to give so much of my time and energies to the charities and issues for which I care so deeply.
If you can, watch the whole speech because it was brilliant, really. This man knows his new duty.
I have been brought up to cherish a sense of duty to others and to hold in the greatest respect the precious traditions, freedoms, and responsibilities of our unique history and our system of parliamentary government. As the Queen herself did with such unswerving devotion, I too now solemnly pledge myself, throughout the remaining time God grants me, to uphold the constitutional principles at the heart of our nation. Our values have remained and must remain constant.
All this tells me that Charles could be the king the Republicans didn't expect and did not want. A good one. And if all that wasn't bad enough for the Republicans, Labor Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, another Republican, snookered himself. Albanese today said there will not be a referendum for the Republic in his first term of government. How can there be, really, when he's already promised a referendum for an Aboriginal-only parliament? To now hold both votes together, that'd be a total disaster. Too much radical change for voters to accept.
It's inconceivable to me that you would have a debate about an Australian head of state before you had recognised Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in the nation's birth certificate.
And here's how Albanese trapped himself and other Republicans. If Australians do vote against Labor's racist plan for an Aboriginal-only parliament, Labor's hardly going to dare then try another referendum on the Republic just a couple of years later. And so, early signs I know, but it seems the Republic here is dead. Long live the King.